super, super excited for this Zoom. And I wanted to set it up just because I have been doing 5 a.m. mornings myself, and it's been working super well for me and some girls on my team who have been doing it. And I know so many others do it as well. And so I thought, what the heck, why not talk about it, be loud about it, and share our tips for you guys and why we do it, and give you tips on how you can do it too and make it work for you, and help you boost your business. So I want to start by sharing kind of how I got started with 5 a.m. mornings, what it's done for me, all of that. And then we have a few other girls that are going to share their experience with it too and their tips as well. But honestly, for me, I feel like, for me, like I've always said, like I'm a morning person, but when somebody says that they're a morning person, I feel like you think that somebody just like springs out of bed at like 5 a.m. They're like, I'm ready to go. I'm excited. Like, let's do it. Like, that's what you think of when you hear of like a morning person, right? But that's not necessarily what a morning person is. It just means that I like having my mornings to myself. I like having my quiet time. I like getting work done. I like being productive in the mornings. And that's what works really well for me. But it doesn't mean that it's super easy. There are days where I literally, my alarm goes off at 4:45 a.m. so I can get on Zoom at 5. And I literally am like, I don't want to. Like, I just don't want to. Can I not? Whatever. And so I'm going to talk about how I worked through that. Instead of like hitting my alarm, I actually get my butt out of bed. But first of all, will you guys drop in the chat, drop a 1 in the chat if you currently do a morning routine, 5 a.m. mornings, 6 a.m. mornings, like you have a strict dedicated routine for yourself that works for you. Drop a 2 in the chat if you really, really want to be able to do that. You just don't really know how to yet. I kind of want to see where we're at. And it's interesting to me because I feel like a lot of people think that they hate mornings, but I swear once you get a routine down, you'll love your mornings and you'll love what's going to come out of it. But 2 books that I read to help me be able to do this, and I actually just listened to them on Audible. I didn't even read them. I listened to them on Audible. The first one is Miracle Morning. It's a really easy listen. And the second one is the 5-second rule, which actually has like very little to do about like morning specifically. But it's what helped me be able to wake myself up in the morning. So there's another book called 5 a.m. Club. I actually haven't read it. I know some other girls on here have read it, so they'll probably talk about it, but I haven't read that one. These are the 2 that have worked for me. Miracle Morning literally talks about like scientific stuff behind like millionaires who literally wake up at 5 a.m. and that's why they are successful, and like psychology behind it and why it does that. And so that's a really cool book to read to help you with that. And then the 5-second rule is literally the bomb, you guys, and it's changed my entire life. It's by Mel Robbins. I listened to it on Audible. I actually just listened to it for the 2nd time or maybe 3rd time. But it's so dang good because it talks about, and I don't want to go over all of it, but it talks about making yourself do something, right? And when you have something pop into your head, when my alarm goes off at 4:45 a.m., my brain has 5 seconds before I will start making excuses and trying to shut down that idea that I have. So my alarm goes off, my brain goes, okay, I need to wake up. I need to get up for my 5 a.m. Zoom. I have 5 seconds to say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and just get my butt out of bed before my brain is going to start going, reset your alarm, sleep 30 more minutes. You don't have to get on. You can do the work later, making excuses to where I'm not actually going to get up. So you have 5 seconds to do that. So she talks about how to do that and all these things. And it has helped me so much with waking up in the morning, but also just like, you guys, there are times in my, I'm sitting here and I'm like, I really need to go switch the laundry, but I don't want to go upstairs and do it. And I just 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and I just freaking do it. So it's so good just for your business and life in general. So I definitely recommend that one. And that's what I do. And so I set my alarm for, like I said, 4:45 a.m. every day. That way I am up, getting ready, getting my coffee, getting on Zoom. And that's the other thing, is make sure that you have some accountability, whether that's you and an accountability partner who are going to get on Zoom together and work together at 5 a.m. And just sit there and do whatever you need to do. We have a couple of them. I know, Taylor, I think you have one that you hop on a Zoom every morning, and then we have one that we hop on every morning. So find somewhere in your team somebody that does 5 a.m. Zooms or 6 a.m. Zooms or whatever the morning power hours are, and get on and work with people. Because part of me, there's days where some days I don't get on the Zoom till 5:15 or 5:30, and I'm like, I know that everybody on our Zoom is like, where the heck are you? Like everybody sees everybody. And so we kind of hold each other accountable with that, because people are going to know if you don't show up. And I don't want people to think that I'm not showing up, so I'm always going to do that. And that's what's going to help me get up even when I don't want to. So that's what works best for me. So kind of having that routine for yourself. And honestly, it comes down to just dedication, just like anything else in your business. You make yourself get up 10 posts a day. You make yourself make a post every day. You make yourself do those things because you know it will lead to success. So that's what we do too. We're just adding in one more thing by saying, I'm going to make myself wake up, because guess what happens when I wake up? I get my stuff done. I knock it all out. I get a majority of my work done. That way, the rest of the day, I can be answering messages. I can be doing all of those things. And I like to say, if you're not waking up in the morning, you're kind of leaving your business to chance, right? Because when I wake up at 5 a.m. and get my work done, and then I nanny a little girl, so she gets here like 6:45, I'm getting in 2 hours of dedicated work to where if she doesn't want to take a nap that day, or if something happens, or if we have to go somewhere, or if like the day gets out of hand or goes differently than what I planned, my work still got done. Versus if you don't do that and you think, I'm going to do it later, I'm going to do it when the kids nap, I'm going to do it when, later in the evening, and then something happens and your day gets busy, or your kids don't sleep, or things happen, you just left your business to chance and it didn't get done because you didn't make the time for it when you had the chance, if that makes sense. And I feel like it increases my productivity too. When I start the day off being productive, I don't want to sit and watch Netflix the rest of the day. I'm like, I've already done this much. I want to keep going and keep going. Versus if I don't do it in the morning, I feel lazy and I feel like I didn't do my part. And so I'm lazy the rest of the day. So I'm kind of going to stop there and let Megan hop on and tell hers. I know she has to hop off sooner. So we'll let you go first. I can't see you. If you can unmute yourself.
Hi, guys. Can you see me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I found you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, cool. So hi, guys. My name is Megan Carter. So 5 a.m. Club has completely changed the person who I am, but also my business. And the books that Courtney was talking about are incredible. I've read one of them. I haven't read the other one yet, The Miracle Morning. That's my next one I'm going to be reading. But I have read the 5 a.m. Club book, and that's what I want to talk about. And it's free on YouTube, so just literally look up on YouTube and listen to it. And that book changed me because of the fact of, I swear, I thought the book was going to be very green, like Color Personality, like do this at this time, this is how you wake up and everything. And it wasn't. It was like a love story. So if you like things like that, please go listen to it because it completely changed me. But when I hear my alarm go off at 4:45, which is when I turn my alarm on as well, it's like he's in my head being like, get up. You're worth it. Make sure you're putting yourself first before you can put yourself into your family. Make sure that you're putting yourself first so that you can put yourself into your business. And the big part about it is, and I'm just going to give you like a little tidbit, but because you're going to have to actually listen to the book to get the whole meal of it. I'll give you the nuggets. But the first thing is what he talks about is a glory hour. And this is what changed everything. So 2020 was a very, very hard year for me. A lot of behind the scenes things that I went through, and I didn't talk about them with a lot of people. And this book completely changed my transformation of making sure that I put myself first and make sure that I'm taking care of myself so I can take care of other people. And so the glory hour is basically from 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. And what you do is for the first 20 minutes, you are doing some type of an exercise. You're moving your body. And the big thing that he's saying is you need to sweat. Something about your endorphins. I don't know a lot about medical stuff, but something about you're getting your body moving, you're getting your energy up, and you're going to start your day off with you're investing in yourself, your body. Then the next 20 minutes is you're going to go through reflections. You're going to do some type of a journaling. My journaling is very, very simple. Sometimes people go like super in depth with their journaling, but I'm newer to the journaling aspect. And journaling to me looks like I feel every single day, I write down in my journal, how do I feel that day? And I was just telling somebody on my team that there has now come a point to where I realized I didn't know how to feel a lot of emotions except for like sad, happy, mad, all those like basic ones. And I actually had to look up a feelings PDF off of Pinterest so that I could understand all these other feelings that we go through. And so my journaling is I feel, I'm grateful for. There's 5 things every day and you can't repeat the same things. And these are just like my personal journaling, so you can do your own. And then the other one is Lord, teach me something every day. I want him to teach me something else. Maybe it's patience, maybe it's love, maybe it's whatever it is. And whatever that specific thing is that I want to be taught that day, I'll go and I'll find a scripture for it as well. So 20-minute workout, 20-minute reflection, journaling, and 20 minutes of growing. So again, this is the glory hour is what it's called. And growing can look like maybe watching a sermon, or maybe listening to a self-development audio, or maybe it's reading a self-development book, but something to help you grow. The self-development recently, hold on, I have it written down. The devotional that I'm doing is from Bob Goff. So like, it's just like a 1-page devotional that I do with my reading of a Bible. It's called Live in Grace, Walk in Love. It's amazing. I got it from Hobby Lobby, but it's also on Amazon. You can get it too. And then for my growing, I actually read the book of John in the Bible, because I have made the commitment to myself to really get deeper into my faith in 2021. And so I say all these things because this glory hour, is what he calls it, has allowed me to invest in myself and truly find out who I am first in the beginning of the day. And in that time, I don't pick up my phone at all. So basically the first hour of the day, there is no phone. There is no electronics. It's me, my Bible, my workout, my yoga mat, and basically the things that are just going to be allowing my self-growth to happen. And because we all know that you can't pour from an empty cup, the best way to be able to pour into others is to have the overflow of the cup. And I'm learning that now firsthand with this 5 a.m. club. But so then what we do is after the glory hour, so from 5 a.m. to 6 a.m., at 6:30, I'm with Taylor, and we have a couple of us, we all hop on a Zoom together at 6:30 Eastern time. And basically from like 6:30 to 8:30, we do work. We get our KPI lists out. We get our stories up on our page. We get all the stuff done so that we can then, for me, because I'm a single mom of a 6-year-old, and he is virtual learning, so I have to teach him also from school. And so from 9 to about 2, I'm pretty much unavailable because I have to help him with his school. So I know in my personal life, and this works for me and it may not work for you, but you may have a different type of schedule. And that's why you have to find what works for you. Is I know that at 8:30 coming into about 9 o'clock, when I'm about to wake him up for school, I've already gotten my KPI list done, or I've already gotten my messages out. I've already gotten my stories up. I've already gotten those crucial things that we need to be doing every single day for our business. And I know that I can now be present with my son and help him with his school. And that could look like to you, you're doing this 5 a.m. club, and then you're getting ready for work, and you go to work, and then you could be present at your work. It could look different for all of us, but everything about this 5 a.m. club has changed me in the way of not only the business, but like the personal self-growth with it as well. And there was one more thing I was going to say. Oh, one of the sermons that I highly recommend you guys, if you guys feel in a funk, or if you guys feel just a little bit of, you just need like a swift kick in the butt. It's called Girl Get Up by Sarah Rakes. So good. It's amazing. Go watch that. And I'm telling you, you will get a word from God for sure when you listen to that. So yeah, I think that's all I got.
I love that. I feel like it just proves that there's so many different ways that you can do it. There's not a set, like you were saying when you were going to read that book, like it was this set, like this is what you have to do. And like there are so many good pieces of advice that you can take, but everybody's going to be different. I feel like as long as you just do it and find what works for you. I will say that I have to listen to my self-development while I'm working, and some people can't focus and do that. I like to have it pouring in my ears while I'm like literally answering negative messages. Like it just works for me. But also it's multitasking, because I have like such like an anxious mind that if I sat down in the morning and tried to like read a book or listen to an audiobook without doing anything else, my brain would be like, I need to be doing this, I need to be doing that, I need to be doing that, to where I wouldn't even hear the words that they're saying. That's just how my brain works. You know what I mean? So find something that works for you and just do it and be consistent with it. And it's going to work. But thank you for sharing all your tips. Go ahead.
One more thing. So you started off by saying basically that you are more of a morning person, like naturally, that's how you are. I am like the complete opposite. So waking up at 4:45 to me is like I'm actually at my brother's house right now, and I said it to him, and he's like, you're waking up at 4:45? And I'm like, I know, isn't that crazy? Because I am not a morning person. But here's the thing is, I put that title on myself for years of saying I'm not a morning person. I am a night person and all this stuff. But I had to start changing my mindset and literally being like, I am a morning person, because I know I have to do these specific things and get up in the morning and, invest the time in myself, my personal growth, my personal self-love, my business, all those things if I want to have the future that I want to have. But the minute that I changed my mindset from saying I am a night person or I'm not a morning person, I started saying I am a morning person. And I have to say that to myself every morning. Like I'll drink my celery in the morning. The first thing I do, even with bad breath and all, I'm like celery, then go brush my teeth. And I'm like, I am a morning person. I am a morning person. As I'm looking at myself in the mirror being like, oh my God, it is 4:45 in the morning, but I am a morning person. And I've started to now become a morning person because of that. Is it hard? Yes. But is it worth it? Yes. And a big tip that I learned again from the 5 a.m. club was to have a successful morning, you have to have a routine for your night. And so like at nighttime, I have like all my products out in the morning. So I know like the first thing I'm going to have is my celery, then I'm going to have my coffee, everything set up, ready to go. But then also my phone is in my kitchen at midnight, period. Like there is no ifs, ands, or buts. That is a non-negotiable for me because I at least need some sleep to be able to function and also raise a kid on my own. But also just knowing that like, just like what Courtney, you just said, you have to actually physically get up out of bed. Like my phone is no longer next to my nightstand. And I actually, Amazon, I think it was like $8. I got like an old school alarm clock that has like the beep beep instead of like my phone going off, to where that is actually now what I wake up to. But then I hear my alarm going off in my kitchen to where I have to get my butt up out of bed, feet on the ground, cold feet, all the way to the kitchen. And by the time I get in the kitchen, I'm like, okay, I'm up, I'm awake, it's ready to start the day. So that is a huge suggestion that I have, that if you have troubles waking up in the morning, buy yourself that cheap old alarm clock from Amazon. Use that as your morning alarm clock. Then set your alarm clock, a second one, to your kitchen and plug in your phone in your kitchen so that you have to actually physically get out of bed, take those steps, actually start your day. And then so that you're way less likely to get back in bed because you're already up and going.
Yeah, I love it. And that's actually something that they said, the psychology of like the miracle morning was, if you tell yourself before you go to bed, oh, I'm going to be so tired when I wake up tomorrow, I'm going to be so exhausted, I'm not going to want to get up. You're not going to want to get up. But if you tell yourself, I'm going to bed now and I'm going to wake up tomorrow and I'm going to be excited and I'm going to get to work and I'm going to get all my stuff done and it's going to be the best morning ever. And like she said, tell yourself like, I'm a morning person. That's what's going to happen when you wake up in the morning. So it's whatever you tell yourself before you go to bed is how you're actually going to feel when you wake up. So that's a good tip. And then someone asked in the comments, what time we wake up on the weekends, like if we're just used to it. For me personally, I've found that, and this actually just happened to me over the weekend. We were at my parents for the weekend, and so I set my alarm for like 6:30 or something. I was like, I'll let myself sleep a little bit, and then I'll get up and do whatever. And my body woke me up at 4:45 a.m. every single day, and it was like the best feeling ever, because I wasn't tired. Like my body was just ready to be up because it was such a habit. And so if you do it consistently, it's going to suck for a while. But after, what does it take? 21 days to make a habit or something like that. But after you do it so many days in a row, your body's going to get used to it, to where you're not going to wake up feeling like you just like woke up in the middle of like your REM cycle. Your REM cycle is going to be over and your body's ready to wake up because that's what you've set for your own body. So I'm glad that you guys asked that, because that just happened to me and I was like, yes, like it's finally a habit. I'm excited. Yes, there's still hard days, but it's way easier when your body's used to it. But I'm going to go ahead and let Shanice go. If you want to give your tips and say what it has done for you, I can find you.
Hey you guys. Okay, so I get up at 4:45 also, and then I also have a nursing 7-month-old. So my days are super, super crazy. But I get up at 4:45 and I make sure, like Megan does, and I set my phone to where I physically have to get up, because if not, I'm going to hit the snooze button. I'm going to roll right back over and cuddle up to my baby and go right back to sleep. Something else that I also do, because we sleep with a fan on and I look really crazy doing it, but I lay out my clothes for the next day. So as I'm walking out of the room, I am putting on sweatpants and I am putting on a sweatshirt. So that way I'm physically away from my bed. So I'm not going to get back in it, because I know I don't want to wake my baby up. So I'm out there and I am making my coffee, and then I go ahead and I post to my story. So that way I'm up and I'm ready. And then I start my morning off with prayer. I just recently started doing that a few weeks ago, and you guys, it's definitely changed my business. I make sure to, show my gratitude, and I thank God for my day and all my blessings that He's given me. And then I start my journaling. And if you guys are not doing your journaling, I highly, highly suggest it. Like Megan said, do all of your I ams every single day. What you want to be, where you're going, everything that you're grateful for, how you want your day to go. do that. Then once I do my journaling, I only do it for 15 minutes, you guys, because I have such a squirrel brain, especially at 5 o'clock in the morning, that I cannot concentrate any longer than that. And then I also do my self-development at the same time. As you can see, this one's asleep. I do my self-development at the same time. I did read the 5-second rule, you guys. And the thing that you do, you just 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you just get up and you go. You don't give yourself any time to make excuses. Tell yourself, oh, I'll just sleep for 10 more minutes, because you're going to go back into a deep sleep and you're going to sleep 2 more hours, and then your whole entire day is thrown off. Because like for me, my daughter is homeschooled, so I have to homeschool her as well. So I don't have time to sit on my phone all day long replying to messages, putting up posts. I have to get my stuff done in the first 3 hours of my day, because that is my most productive part of my day. And then something else that I do, you guys, I get my host to post up first thing in the morning. So then when I do have breaks in my day where she wants a snack or we're eating lunch, I'm able to go through and reply to people. So just lost my train of thought, you guys. I'm able to reply to people in the nooks and crannies of my day. And I did see somebody ask, how do you do this while working a full-time job? When I started, you guys, I was working 2 jobs. So I made sure that I got up 30 minutes early before I would normally get up to get ready to go to work. And then I would work it on my breaks. I would tell them I needed to go to the bathroom. I would work it when I went to the bathroom. And that's how you do it. If you can only work 10 minutes at a time, you do it. You don't make excuses. You just do everything that you need to do. And even if you fail and you miss your alarm and you sleep till 8, well, don't make excuses. Get up, do what you got to do. And then the next day, start over again. Just keep trying until you get it, because then your body will form the habit. But my routine is super simple, you guys. I get up, I make my coffee, I post my story, I do my journaling, I do my self-development. If you don't listen to Steve Harvey, that's who I'm listening to. I absolutely love him. He will speak some life into you and tell you all about his story and how, he just asked for the things. He asked that he was a morning person. He asked that, he succeeded in his business. He asked that, he was able to create the routine, and those things came to him the more that he did it. But that's what I do. Yeah. My routine's simple, you guys.
Yes, and if you have a full-time job, even more reason to get up and get your stuff knocked out, because you're going to be busy all day long, and some people can't be on their phones when they're at work. I hear that a lot. Like, I can't be on my phone, I can't be posting, I can't whatever. So if you can do that, that's great. But that's even more reason to, if you have to be at work by, 7 or 8, wake up at 5, get an hour or 2 of work done, and then go to work. You know what I mean? That way you have a huge chunk done. And when you get off work or when you're at your lunch break, you have messages waiting for you from the work that you did in the morning because you knocked it out. Jenna Easterday, I don't know if she's still on here, I saw her earlier, but she works with us for an hour, usually from like 5 to 6, and then she has to get ready for work to go to her job. And so that's something that works for her, and that's what you have to do when you have a full-time job, you know what I mean? And so that's just a tip. But did you have anything else, Shanice? Are you good? Okay. Hey, we'll move on to you. Let's see.
Hello.
Hey. Okay,
Can you hear me?
So, yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, awesome. Hey guys. Okay, so let me just tell you a little bit about how I got started doing this 5 a.m. club. So back in September, I saw a sideline sister of mine posting about this 5 a.m. club, and it just seemed so crazy to me. I'm like, dang, like she is so consistent, and she's talking about her being up at 5 a.m. She's always showing herself on her story, and I was like, okay, I just want to like get on with her, and like having that accountability for me is what got me out of bed, because I knew that she knew I was going to get on. And so when I first started waking up early, it was like an accountability thing, because she knew I was about to wake up to get on. And like, especially on Zoom, like if you know someone's counting on you, your butt's going to get out of bed. And so I started getting on with her, and I noticed like crazy changes in my business, because I felt like before I started getting up at 5, I always woke up at 7, and then my power hour started at 8. And for whatever reason, like I wouldn't really get out of bed at 7. Like I would mosey up to my office, maybe get up here at 7:30, and I would only give myself really 30 minutes to like unwind before my power hour started. And I just felt so rushed, and I felt like I didn't really have the time to do all the self-development and the things that I needed to do. And so when I started doing the 5 a.m. club, I realized like, holy crap, like my system needed shocked from what it was used to. And when I shocked my system, like I just felt such like a newfound energy for my business. Like I just felt I don't know, just so in control. And knowing that I had all of my self-development, all of my KPI list done before 9 a.m. felt so good to have wins under my belt, to go throughout my day knowing I've done everything on my list times 3, and I can go to the gym unplugged and not feel guilty for doing long workouts with my husband. And I can, spend time with my kids and my husband in the evening time and not feel guilty because I spent a huge chunk of my morning getting my stuff done. And so a couple tips that I have for you, if you're not a morning person, like I definitely was not, it was tough in the beginning. Now it's just very second nature. I do have to set like 5 alarms. Is there anyone on here who has to like set 5 alarms? I have one for like 4:30, one for 4:35, one for 4:45, one for 4:50, and my butt is like out of bed like before that, so I can go make my coffee and be upstairs by 5. So I have to set lots of alarms. But before I do that now, but when I first got started doing it, I did put my phone like by my dresser, so I was forced to get up. And so if you're first getting started, like I would definitely do that. My body is just much more, it's easier for me to get up now, but I do set a couple alarms so I can just like easy my way out. But I will say like having something warm by your bed does help. Like if you're someone who like doesn't sleep with a lot of clothes on and you're cold when you wake up, put something by your bed. Like I always have a robe by my bed, or, sweatpants, a sweatshirt that I just throw on before I go make my coffee. That's really helpful. And one thing that has helped me too is I have now like this Routinery app. It's called Routinery. It's on the Apple store. And I'm sure Android has something like it, and I can put the link in here. But I created a morning routine on this app. Okay. So once I get my coffee and I come upstairs, I press start on this app, and it has like timers of like what I'm supposed to be doing and for how long. And because I'm just so squirrel brain, if I don't have that, like I'm all over the place. And so the first thing I do is I do, some journaling. So this is kind of my time with God. This is where like I can spend time like reflecting and like hearing his voice, and like putting things down on paper for me has been so helpful. I do I am statements. I always write like a thank you God letter. Like that's really where I thank God for all the things that I want him to do, and I speak to him as if he's already working on it. And so I'll say like thank you God so much for multiplying my volume this month and putting all the right people in my line of vision, for making, just different things like that. So journaling for me, I do about 10 minutes of it. Then I do 30 minutes of self-development, like reading a book. For me, that's just, I get more knowledge and like actually understand it and like take it in if I'm reading it versus listening to an audiobook, which I still love to listen to like podcasts and stuff. But for me in the morning, like 30 minutes of like underlining and like digging into some type of self-development book is what I typically do. And then I go into time blocking. So this is important to me. This is something that has also impacted my business, and I didn't really start doing it until I started getting up earlier because I have time for it. I take 10 minutes to time block my day. And so if you don't know what time block is, you can go to Pinterest and search time block schedule. There's so many free printables, or your planner might already have it, but it basically just has like every hour of the day on like a sheet of paper. So this has from like 5 a.m. till 10 p.m. And so what I do is I time block myself what I want to be doing at each hour of the day. And, obviously it's not by the book. Like there's days where I don't go and do dishes at 5 when I said I was going to, but I try to like write down like the important things that have to get done, like my 3 priorities that must get done today. And then I schedule in the things that aren't necessarily as important kind of later in the evening, because like as the day goes on, you just get tired and you put things off and you're like, okay, I'll do it tomorrow. So I just try to schedule myself to do the most important things first and then push off kind of the other things later in the day. I do schedule myself where I have no phone. 6 to 7 every night, I do not have a phone. Like I leave my phone upstairs. I'm having dinner with my family. That's kind of my no unplug zone. And I think it is important to schedule yourself time with your husband. Like schedule yourself time with your kid for 30 minutes that you have no phone, and just kind of planning your day, right? Because if you tell your time where to go, you guys, you will have time for all of it. You will have time to get your KPI list done. You will have time to go to your 9-to-5 job. You will have time to spend with your husband if you tell your time where to go. And I think that's so important. yeah, it's just been like, it literally, the 5 a.m. club, it's given me like a whole new energy to my business, you guys. And it feels so good to have all 100 of my messages done by 9 a.m. Like, that's crazy. And I was not doing that before. Like, it was, yeah. So yeah, that's all I have.
Well, I feel like when you're up early, you're like, I'm about to get work done because I did not just wake up that early to do nothing and twiddle my thumbs and scroll social media. Like, I'm like, I better be sending these messages. I better get 10 host posts up in the next 2 hours. Like, you want to like maximize your actions that you're getting out of it because you just put in all the work to actually get yourself up that early. Something else too is that it can get fun, and that sounds weird because it's not always easy to wake up. But then once I get on Zoom and I'm working with people on our team and we're there getting work, like, it gets fun because you're like, okay, I'm doing the thing, you know, and you're with people and you're doing it together. And so when it comes to that, I saw a lot of messages in the chat about like, what Zooms are happening, you know, what Zooms can I get on at this time or this time? My two biggest tips are either find an accountability partner and start there, or a small group of people, because it's easier to stay accountable when it's a small group of people and I can say like, Shanice, where you at? Like, you're not here and it's 5:30. You know what I mean? Like, we can call each other out because we know who is on it every day and we know they're on our team. So find an accountability partner. It can be one person, two people, like literally text somebody tonight and say, hey, I saw you were on this Zoom and I see you when I wake up at 5 a.m. too. Let's do this, you know, and find an accountability partner. Another thing is you can ask your upline and ask if you guys have any early morning work Zooms that your team has, that you're available to hop on, and your upline will probably know that, or look on your team pages or things like that. But if you don't have one, definitely just start with a couple people. That's kind of how we started ours, was just a couple people, and then as people wanted to start jumping in, they do. And so kind of just start that, and then you guys can keep each other accountable and maximize that. But Taylor, did you have anything else?
I saw a couple questions. So Katie asked, do people respond to host a post before 8 a.m.? So here's the deal, you guys. And when I used to work night shift as a nurse, I worked this business at 4 a.m. Okay, 4 a.m. was like my dead zone where people were sleeping, like the floor was under control. I could be on my phone, and that's when I would send out messages and send friend requests at 4 a.m. in the morning, okay? It does not matter if people aren't awake yet. Like, they will get to your message when they get to your message, but at least you're sending the message, right? You're planting the seed, you're sending out the message, and whenever they respond is when they respond. So I respond to all of those messages that I planted early in the day throughout my day, right? So 3 to 5 is kind of when I block myself to be on my phone and like following up with people, making sure my hosted posts are getting up. I'm responding to messages. That's a lot of times when I'm placing orders for people. So like, they're not necessarily responding early, but they're responding throughout the day. Okay. And then I do I do 100 messages a day. I have just like a template on my iPad. I do tally marks. Every 10 I send, I make a tally and I highlight it. And I have a certain amount that I do for distributor messages, brand reviewer messages, host to post messages, follow-up messages, just positive vibe messages is what I call them. And so I track all that for sure.
And here's the thing, like, some of you that, do you guys stay up and work your business at 11 p.m.? Because I'm not up at 11 p.m. So there's a lot of people who aren't up at 11 p.m., but you're still sending messages. I feel like it's the same thing with the morning. Like, think about, would you message people at 10 or 11 or what after that p.m. to get them sent before the end of the day? Yes. The same thing with the morning, you know, and like you said, they don't have to answer them right away. But also sometimes I find that a lot of people do message me back because they're up getting ready for work. Maybe not like at 5 a.m., but by like 6 a.m., people are starting to message me back because they're up getting ready for work, or they're laying in bed checking their messages, scrolling social media before they even get out of bed. And so I found that's a really good time, versus if I message people at 8 a.m., people are already at work or driving to work, or that sort of thing. So I feel like there is a little bit of an advantage right there. I was going to say something else, but I don't remember. But yeah, does anyone have anything else that they want to add? Otherwise, I will get us out of here. I don't want to take too much of anybody's time, but can you guys put a 1 in the chat if this was helpful, and put a 5 in the chat if you're going to start doing 5 a.m. mornings, because I am super pumped, and I know it'll be something that will be hard in the beginning, but like we said throughout the whole thing, consistency is key. If you do it one day and don't do it the next day, and then do it the next day and then don't do it the next day, you're not going to create that habit that we're talking about, and you're not going to get that consistent action from it to where we were like, once we started doing it, we saw our business and our success increase. You won't see that if you're not consistent with it. So I am super, super pumped.
Can I just add one more thing?
Yeah, I saw you were about to say something.
Nothing changes if nothing changes. Okay. And that has to start with you guys. That has to start with you. And, you know, I used to view like waking up early as like a sacrifice, but really it's a trade-off. It's a trade-off for what, like a better life, right? Like I know if I can act like a successful person acts, and if you look at Oprah and you look at LeBron James and you look at their routines, they're up early, y'all. Successful people wake up early. And so for me, it's a trade-off. It's a trade-off for knowing that I'm implementing habits that are going to give me a better life and that are going to help me expand my business. And sometimes it's just that one shift that takes you to the next level. And so I hope that this is a shift that you all can just start implementing, because I know you can do it. If I can do it, I promise you, you can do it, because I was so not a morning person. Okay.
I feel like you were the type of person to stay up till like 1 a.m. and wake up at like 9 a.m. Is that you? Because
Yeah.
I could see the shift. And that's something else, is that if I can see the shift in Taylor being dedicated, and instead of, you know, seeing her first post at 9 a.m. and see that she's waking up at 5 a.m., I feel like as followers, you're like, dang, like this girl's doing something with her life. You know what I mean? People see that, and your team sees that, and your followers see that. And so everybody's watching and they see everything that you do. So that is all. I'm going to go ahead and close this out, but I hope you'll have an awesome night. And I hope you guys start implementing your early morning routines to maximize your business. But have a good night. Bye, guys.